What is the most Karen thing a Karen has even done to you? I deliver appliances for Best Buy. We had a woman call and complain that her fridge was not pre-cooled before it was delivered and that she had to wait for it to come down to temp. No one in the office was prepared for that one. When I worked at the Home Depot, a Karen told me that she didn't want any black men to install her flooring. I was in charge of arranging her order and told her that we don't select which individuals exactly will install her floor and that she'll get who she gets. She proceeds to have a fit about it, demands white installers, asks to speak to my manager. I'm so glad she did, because my manager's name was Dwayne, and he was a real big black dude. Turns out she didn't want to speak to the manager. Told me I couldn't work on my car in my own garage at noon because she didn't want my fast-looking car to influence her sons to be hooligans like you. I have a similar Karen. She reported us to the homeowners we rent and got us a 10-day notice for eviction for disturbing the peace. We were having band practice in our closed garage on Sunday from 3 to 4 p.m. We went around and got all our other neighbors to give us notes about how they didn't care. Most even enjoyed it. Fuck you, Karen. Sorry we're not playing Eagles covers. That I needed to leave the gym because I made her son feel like only fat people go to the gym. Your son is in shitty shape because you feed him garbage, Karen. Actually, the weird thing was that he was like fit, but his mom was just being a bitch. When I worked at a bakery, Karen bought a chocolate cupcake and ate half of it. Karen then asked if she could return her half-eaten chocolate cupcake, not because she didn't like it, but because she wanted to exchange it for half of a vanilla cupcake. Like most bakeries, we did not sell cupcakes by the half. She became offended when I asked if she wanted to purchase a vanilla cupcake. When I was working retail, this one woman had a big bag of coupons. Most of them were unusable because either they were expired or they were duplicates. She berated me because the system was rejecting most of the coupons. She called me stupid amongst other names, telling me I just wasn't doing it right. Then, as a typical Karen would, she asked to speak with my manager. My manager came and asked what the problem was. The women ranted about how incompetent I was because I didn't know how to scan a coupon. My manager looked at the coupons and the coupons were the problem, not me. My manager bitched out the customer for being disrespectful for me and told the customer to leave the store. I hated working there, but I'm so grateful that I had managers that totally didn't go by the customer is always right rule and weren't afraid to stand up for their employees. That was just one of many incidents. When I worked at a popular arcade chain, I had a Karen absolutely berating me because I wouldn't give her kid a prize they didn't win. So she wants a manager, and when my manager comes over, she straight-faced this bitch's whole rant until Karen goes, "Whatever happened to the customer's always right?" And my manager leans in a little and goes, "We don't have customers here, we have guests. Customers always right, guests are usually wrong, goodbye," and waved a security guard over to escort Karen out. Best day of work ever. Worked at a grocery store and a coworker put a 99-cent sticker on my shirt. We were 2 of maybe 5 employees, so we were all good friends, and everything is funny when you got a pastime on a shift, so I just left it there. Some woman came through my line and asked me why I had a sticker on my shirt, and I just kinda laughed it off. She asked if I thought it was funny, and I was like, "Not really, but sorta." She asked if my coworker put it there, to which I responded yes. She told me she was going to speak to the store owner cause it was disrespectful to behave that way at work. She told me to call my manager, and I did, but he was a super cool guy and knew this lady was a fucking idiot. She talked to the store owner and my manager about firing me to no avail. She accomplished nothing and was a cunt. The end. I'm laughing pretty hard at the idea of some mob being so offended about a sticker being where it shouldn't be that someone should lose their job over it. Asked for my manager's personal cell phone number to complain that I, 7 months pregnant at the time, would not carry a refrigerator, that she had not paid for in the cost of her room, up to her second-story room. We did not have an elevator, rather than just accept an upgrade for free because she didn't want to unpack her stuff. She refused to believe we had rooms without fridges and I was just being fat and lazy. When I refused to give her the cell phone number, she asked for corporate's number. I wrote it down on a sticky note with a smiley face. She came down later and asked to move rooms. I made her pay the difference. Left her card in the FPOS machine at the McDonald's I was managing as a teenager, rang me to say I needed to drive it out to her, that I ruined her night, ruined her family's night, owed her free food, and that she'll be laying a formal complaint when I refused all of the above. She showed up 3/4 of an hour later with steam blowing out her ears asking for her card back. Last we heard from her. Working retail one afternoon, and here comes Karen with a return. At first glance it's no big deal, just coming in to return a shirt. She walks up to the register, hands me the receipt to start processing, and we exchange a pleasant greeting. I take the shirt out of the bag to examine it, and it is beyond disgusting. There were brown sweat stains all over it, from the pits to the stomach to the shoulder. It looked like whoever wore it rolled in mud or some nonsense. I proceed to tell Karen that I cannot return the product because it had clearly been used and that only unused and resellable items could be returned. Karen threw a fit, started screaming at me and accusing me of calling her a liar and whatnot. I hold up the shirt and point to the brown pit stains and say, "Karen, can't you see this stain? Oh man, did that make it worse." She continues making a huge scene and demands to see the manager. News flash, Karen, I am the manager and I'm not budging. After 20 or so minutes of complaining, she finally leaves, saying she'll be complaining to corporate and getting me fired and blah blah blah. Fast forward a few days. A guy walks into the store, finds the first store associate he can, and immediately asks for me by name. Oh, here we go again. Anyway, my associate brings the guy over to where I'm standing and I politely greet him. The guy spends the next 10 minutes apologizing for his crazy wife Karen verbally abusing my staff and I a few days prior. Apparently, the guy went to the beach and did some type of CrossFit HIIT training class in the sand. Karen knows all of this. She was at the class with him. The guy ended up not liking the shirt for some reason, and Karen thought she could pull a fast one on us by making a scene. Think again, Karen. The mother of a girl I went to school with comes into the shop I work at 5:58 p.m. We close at 6, lights are half off, front door is closed, roller door is half down, and goes, "Hi, my name. I'm just running in to grab a few things." Before I can tell her not to, she's gone into the aisles. My manager comes over and goes, "What are you doing? We have to be done by 6. He went to find her. She's already got a basket full of things going. "Where are the capsicums? Can I just grab?" Keep in mind this is a fruit shop, half the items come off the shelves and into the cool room. My manager is literally the nicest guy ever and agrees to ring up her items as long as she pays card, as the cash is all packed into the safe. "No, that's ridiculous. I only have cash." "My name, can you tell him I only have cash?" So I tell her the exact same thing, that we literally can't access the cash once the safe is closed for the day. "Oh, well, can you just pay for it on your card and I'll get daughter to pay you back?" I tell her that I can't do that. She starts shouting about how unprofessional we are, that the shop is awful because half the items are gone, we were closed, and that she's never coming back. Thank God. She avoids me at school events now, and I honestly feel sorry for her daughter. The stories I hear about this cow are shocking. Icing on the cake? Her name is actually Karen. I used to work retail, so I have come across my fair share of Karens. They were a huge reason why I went back to school and no longer work as a cashier. Anyways, one day while I was manning the registers with a few other coworkers of mine, I had a massive nosebleed right as I was finishing a transaction. I grabbed a tissue and quickly excused myself to run to the restroom so I could try to get it to stop bleeding. This meant that I couldn't say goodbye to Karen and give the little spiel about how I was oh so grateful for her shopping with us. Anyways, after about 10 minutes, I was finally able to get my nose back under control and headed back to the registers. I saw her waiting to the side with a scowl on her face, arms crossed over her chest, the whole 9 yards. She proceeded to scold me about how rude I was for not saying goodbye. After I apologized and explained that I had an unexpected nosebleed, she told me I should have tried holding it in and that the customer comes first. My brain was literally, ? After that. I'm sure if you had said the goodbye spiel with blood gushing down your face, you would have then complained about it being a health risk and how you got blood on her. I was working at my job as a cashier at my local supermarket. We were swamped with people. I had at least 7 people waiting in my line. One of my good friends from high school was in my line and I talked to him as I was ringing up his stuff. After he left, I welcomed the next lady in line and asked the usual stuff. "Did you find everything okay? How are you doing?" etc. Before I could get a word out, she asked to speak to my manager. Apparently, I was rude to her for not including her in my conversation with my high school friend. She didn't even chime in or anything, and I never seen her in my life. Fucking Karen, man. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.